Welcome to 𝗥𝗵𝗲 show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in week in and week out to listen, learn, and grow. We truly appreciate you. We value you, your time, because it is your time, and we appreciate you. So thank you for tuning in, the newcomers who've come on and listen to the show. And the show is about entrepreneurs, and Ria today is taking over the conversation, and she's talking from her book, 𝗦𝗵𝗲 𝗘𝗽𝗓. So before Ria comes on, I just wanted to come on, introduce to you all and welcome you all for tuning in. And my name is 𝗥𝗵𝗲.
My name is Ria.
And welcome to our show.
Nothing from the book of Robert Kiyosaki, Increase Our Financial IQ. The first lesson is Robert bought the 300-unit apartment and received infinite return. The question I ask myself, and the question you should be asking, is how did Robert Kiyosaki bought a 300 apartment unit and receive an infinite return? And I will show you how. Second, so how did Robert get an infinite return? By using leverage. Now, leverage is a two-edged sword. It can be very powerful, but it can also be deadly, especially if your deal goes bad. Second, the way that Robert did it was, first, he added washers, he added dryers. So these are just some of the things that we call value add when you have properties. Second, by just improving the exterior, or by you being the new owner now of your apartment, the 300 apartment unit, just for example, you can raise the rents to market. So what he did was he added washers and dryers, and he raised the rents to market to each of the 300 apartment unit. Now, raising the rents to each unit takes time. It just doesn't happen in 1 month. It doesn't happen on 2 months. This is an ongoing process. So every time you have a vacancy, you will try to increase or raise the rent of that particular unit until all 300 units have had their raise in rents. Now, income statement and balance statement. This is important to show the no money down, right? The leverage. So with income statement, we do have the income and we do have the expenses. So in the income bucket, this is what Robert did in this 300 apartment units. So Robert increased $50 in rent per month, okay, per unit. Now, Robert also increased $50 because why? He added washers and dryers. And these are just one of the ways that you can increase the rent. This is called value add again, is by adding washers and dryers. There's also several things that you can do to do value add. Expenses. So when you put in washers and dryers, or when you do exterior work, there are expenses to it. In this particular example, Robert's expenses was $10 a month in payments for the washers and dryers. Now, when you have an income statement, you need to have the balance sheet. Everything, what goes in must come out. What comes out must go in. So this is the balance sheets. You have the asset and you have the liability. Now, the liability, because you added washers and dryers, now you owe money. You have the debt. So for every washer and dryer, the combo washer and dryer, you would pay $1,000 of debt for the washers and dryers. Plus, you also have some rehab cost of the unit if you're doing other value add. Third lesson, the net 100 a month. So remember, he got 100. This is due to Robert increasing the rents to match the competition. Okay, he's not the highest. He's just matching the competition. The second was upgrading the exterior. He became the new owner of the property and he improved the exterior. Third is he fitted each unit with washers and dryers. So that's how he came up with the net $100 a month. Fourth lesson, this $100 a month net income or net increase in income is 100% finance transaction. Now, when you buy multifamily apartments, so for example, in this case, this was the 300 unit. When you have value add, when you're doing improvements, the bank would lend you money. So in this case, all the money is coming from the bank. It's finance transaction. Now let's compare that to a single, versus a single family home. When I buy a single family home, the bank only lends me money on the 80% of the purchase to purchase the property. The rest of the value add, right? The rest of the value add, the rest of the other improvements, if I put washer and dryer, it would have to come from my own pocket. Majority of the times, that's what I've done. But you can also talk to the bank to see if you can get financing for those value add improvements or for money to buy washers and dryers. But majority of the time, when it's a single family home, the bank will lend us money to purchase the property. If we're doing any other upgrades, any value add, it would be coming from our own money. Or if we have friends and family that we can borrow money, then it would be coming from that. When you buy multi-family apartments, in this case, 300 apartment unit, Robert's deal was 100% finance transaction on the value add. So that means the exterior, see the upgrades to the exterior, the washers and dryers were all coming from a finance transaction. Were all coming from the bank before he even bought it, right? It's already added into the computation. Fifth lesson, fifth key takeaway. Robert got extra money, extra income from the bank to do the renovations. So remember, the money is not coming from his own pocket, but from the bank to do the renovations. Now, Robert has the control of what he can do with the money. So he could do washers and dryers, he could do exterior renovation, right? Or he can do valet trash, or he can improve the toilets, right? To a water saving device. So that's what it means when Robert has the control and the bank provides the cash to do the renovations. Sixth lesson. The increase in debt is more than covered by the increase in income. So what does that mean? So let's go back to his example. So the liability, right? So he has $1,000 of debt for the washers and dryers plus the rehab cost of the unit. So that can easily, this 1,000 debt can easily paid for, right? Easily paid for by $100 per month of net income. This is per unit. So in just 10 months, right? In 10 months, you are able to recoup your $1,000 that you paid for the washers and dryers. And now you own that washer and dryer that you're getting from the tenant. So that's what it means, that the increase in debt is more than covered by the increase in income. Seventh lesson, this extra $100 is technically an infinite return. An infinite return. Why? Because number one, all expenses is fronted by the bank. So it is coming from other people's money, from the bank's money. Second, all returns goes to Robert. All returns, meaning the $100 of income, right? Net income goes back to Robert. And so that's what he means by infinite return. You have no money in the deal and you're getting income. Eighth lesson, the increase of $100 per month is multiplied by the number of units. So in this case, the $100 per month of net income, remember it's net income, times the 300 apartment units of Robert, this increase of gross income of 30,000 a month. So 100 times 300 units is 30,000 a month. Now let's multiply it by 12 months. So now you get 360,000 a year just by doing washer and dryer and by increasing in rent. So you see the power of having number of units, increased number of units? By having 300 apartment units, you increase the rent of $100 per month because you've done exterior rent, added washer and dryer. That will give us $300 times 100 will give us 30,000. We multiply it by 12 months. This will give us 360,000 a year. On top, this is in addition to the cash flow that Robert is already getting. Okay, this is just an added income a year on top of the cash flow. So this 360,000 is called infinite return and is measured by cash flow in your hand, in your pocket. And this is not some fictitious capital gain on paper. So when we have stocks, when we invest in stocks in Wall Street, right, we may have an increase in the value of the stock, but we do not get the cash until we'll sell it. So this is what he means. The money, the 360,000 that you get from investment of the apartments, that's infinite return on your hand compared to the paper, the stocks. Because why? You need to sell. You need to have that capital gain to sell it, to have it in your hand. 10th lesson, the bank puts up 100% of the money for the improvement. Excuse me. The owner received, just like in this case, Robert received the increase in income. And the tenant, your tenant, pays for the expenses and pays for the mortgages. So I hope you learned something from today's topic, money for nothing. So I had 10 lessons that I shared in today's topic, money for nothing. So let me know in the comment section below what you learned today from today's topic, money for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know what, well, we need to know the basics. And I think it always comes down to, the fundamentals. What's the basics of knowing about money? And we talked about this last time, knowing the basics. And when you have mastered the basics, then gradually it's a step by step.
That is correct. It is a step-by-step process. And by learning to listen to our show, we're teaching them the basics before they go and deploy their money, because only you are the highest lid, right? So if you do not improve yourself and you have the money, then it's not going to do anything. So applied knowledge without application is no power. So you've got to apply that knowledge.
Exactly. Well, Ria, thank you for sharing. Well, guys, we've come to the end of another amazing show, and thank you for tuning in as always. So, as we say, implementation, you have to implement what you learn each time is to implement, because that's where, you're going to see the success, you're going to see the results happening in your lives. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you same time, same place tomorrow morning. All right. So have a great day, everyone. Make the rest of the day the best of your day.